Yo, it's called The Forgotten Fortnite Collabs. This is by the Big Craig. Let's get into it. There's been a lot of collabs. There's been a lot of Fortnite collabs. Let me try pausing music. There's been a lot of Fortnite collabs. If you were to tell me to name all of them, I honestly forget. Sometimes, like, I'll forget Fortnite collabs even happened until, you know, I get reminded of it. But let's see all the ones we forgot. Tell me how many you guys forgot.
Collabs are an integral part of Fortnite, so much so that we can't go 20 minutes without a collab season being shoved down our throats. Collabs keep Fortnite relevant. Let's just say it how it is. Sure, Reload and Blitz and the new BR seasons keep players engaged, but the collabs keep people outside of the Fortnite space interested in the game. It's no wonder Call of Duty are trying to do collabs.
That's true. Like, truly, I think Fortnite collabs right now, their only purpose is just to get new people to play the game. I feel like Fortnite, and I forgot what I was talking. I didn't even make this video. I didn't post this video, but there's one video I was recording, and it was about Fortnite collabs. And I think Fortnite has really reached like a ceiling with like its natural player base. Like everyone who would want to play Fortnite has either played Fortnite, and they've determined either they like it or they don't like it, and that's fair. So I think Fortnite has just not reached this like natural like peak, or not peak, but like it's reached its natural cap of players that like would already originally play Fortnite. So now they have to do collabs to like get new people who wouldn't normally play Fortnite to play Fortnite, which is why they add things like, you know, like to get a like more like women demographic. I'd say like they'd add people like Chaperone or Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Love, to the game to be like, oh, this is a cool skin, I want to play as my favorite artist, and then I get to play Fortnite, and whether they like it or not, that's up to them. But like, you know, it's just get more people in the door. But it's kind of like, I feel like Fortnite is a game that can do things like that. It can reach to different demographics and it still makes sense. Call of Duty introducing Nicki Minaj, current context, it makes sense. I'm not gonna lie, current context, Nicki Minaj and Call of Duty makes sense. But like whenever it initially happened, I was confused by, because I think the things that regular Call of Duty, from my impression of Call of Duty players, the things that Call of Duty players would say about Nicki Minaj, I don't think that's a good, I would not think that was a good collab. But hey, who knows? Maybe I haven't seen the numbers.
Keyword is trying. But not all of Fortnite's collabs can be remembered. We've just had so many, all of which varied in size and quality over the course of 8 years that you just can't remember all of them. But today we're going to go over the top 15 most forgotten collabs in Fortnite history in no particular order. If you enjoyed today's video, then consider subscribing and using code BigCraig in the Fortnite.
Or code Chasey in the Fortnite shop. Just saying, just in case you want to use that one, code Chasey in the Fortnite shop.
Of other exclusive perks. Then be like these guys and become a channel member for just $2.99 a month. What a steal. The Wreck-It Ralph collab was a weird one. If you've been here a while, you may remember
that was
about
true.
This collab in my worst Fortnite collabs video. So that's how you know this is a good one. The Wreck-It Ralph collab occurred during Chapter 1 Season 6 when Wreck-It Ralph 2 was releasing. The reason you probably don't remember this collab is because all it was Ralph the boy himself running into Risky Reels' screen, doing a little wave and running off. Oh,
also, I'm pretty sure there, maybe he's gonna talk about it in the video, but there's also something in the program files about like one of the characters from Wreck-It Ralph doing a dance.
And also we got a free emote that never came back. Yeah, while the collab was all right in terms of quality, it wasn't really anything special. Especially because 2 seasons prior, we just had the Thanos transformation game mode, which for some reason Epic seems to love doing these days. Like,
I did completely forget about the Thanos game mode. I'm not gonna lie. I remember there was a Marvel one. I completely forgot that end game also gave us a collab too.
We've had Thanos, Doom, Godzilla, Star Destroyer, Superman, Megazord. We're getting it all, huh? The Wreck-It Ralph collab wasn't bad, but if you weren't clued into the game and what was happening behind the scenes, you probably would have no idea what was happening. Which kind of defeats the purpose of a collab, doesn't it? Next, we've got a collab which I actually really enjoyed. Tenet. This released during Chapter 2 Season 3, and originally the Tenet trailer premiered in Party Royale, rest in peace. I remember waking up really early one day with my brother so we could watch this in Fortnite. It was really
yeah, I didn't even know there was a Tenet collab. I'm not gonna lie with you. This does not even ring a bell.
Fun. But that's not all. At some point during Chapter 2, if you went to a specific area in Steamy Stacks, you could hear some ominous arm music. It was weird. But if you followed the music and dug down, you could find a secret room with an object in it. What was this object? What was it doing there? I have no idea. My brother is watching Tenet at some point this year, so I'll let you know when he knows. What else happened for the Tenet collab? Nothing. They didn't add any skins or gameplay items or whatever. It was just Party Royale premiere and an Easter egg on the map. I'm not sure why, but this collab feels better than the Wreck-It Ralph collab, despite them being very similar. Huh. You think we're going to be keeping this list inside of the gamer world, huh? No way, buddy. We're going outside for this one. Fortnite Nerf guns are a thing that exist. And I hate it. They have a...
Not gonna lie, Fortnite Nerf guns was probably made the most sense. Like, Fortnite's primary demographic, of course, definitely does play with Nerf guns. So I think that's actually, like, the most logical. That's the most like it's a collab that makes the most sense. Fortnite x King of the Kill, King of the Kill, King of the Hill. No idea. I don't think the average Fortnite player knows who King, like what King of the Hill is. They don't, I probably don't even know what it was. There was a show. Metallica. There's no way in hell an average Fortnite player, like the like primary demographic of Fortnite, they have no idea who Metallica is. They have no idea who Kiss is. I don't know why that was a collab.
A bunch of guns from the game, like the grenade launcher, the Scar, the janitor, heavy sniper, P90, pump shot. The colors are all wrong. I don't get it. Why are they just random saturated colors? Are they worried that the toddlers that use these weapons will look at the Scar and go,
well, hell no, I'm not using that. If it was some kind of puke yellow color, then maybe.
Even when they're trying to be accurate to the color design of the game, it's like a Fortnite YouTube video thumbnail, the way the colors and the saturation are. But what makes it worse is that for whatever bloody reason, the regular tactical shotgun has its normal colors, and so do the flare gun. Oh, okay. So you guys can make accurate gun models, you just don't want to.
I think it's more true, like it's more like for Nerf being true to like their branding, because like you look up a Nerf gun, bro. Hold on, let me search up a Nerf gun. You look up a Nerf gun, they're holy. Let me show you guys. Like Nerf guns in of themselves are like pretty. You guys can't actually see this. Hold on, chat. I'm trying to show you guys. Yeah, like Nerf guns and like yeah, that's I don't. It's not even like an actual Nerf gun. That can't be a Nerf gun. That has to be like. There's no way that's a real Nerf gun. But like Nerf guns in themselves, they're pretty colorful, right? Like they're colorful. They're like different colors. Like, so, like I think it's less the fact that like Fortnite didn't want to like, you know, they were scared about like if kids were gonna be like, oh my god, that's a real gun, you know. I think it's less of that and more of just the fact that like Nerfs in general are just like that brightly colored.
Consider buying some of these if the weapons actually look like they did from the game and not like vomit from the YouTube algorithm. I hate it. Quibi! Oh god, Quibi. From one disaster to the next. Quibi was a live in-game event during Chapter 2 Season 2. At certain times, if you landed at Risky Reels, an episode of a brand new series streaming out of flippin' Quibi would play on the screen.
Oh, Quibi was that video app that like was on like, was it vertical or is it like, right? Quibi was that like one video app that like just made vertical videos? Quibi. Short form videos that you can watch on your phone. Yeah, short form vertical videos. It was like TikTok before it's TikTok.
The event was a disaster. Audio was too quiet, builds were still enabled, braking was still enabled, loot was still enabled, weapons were still enabled. It was awful. I played this event multiple times with my brother. Why we did this more than once is beyond me. But I had so much fun during this event because of how terrible it was. I dare to have been the #1 Quibi fan coming in to watch this event while sipping out of his Quibi cup and then seeing this absolute disaster that came afterwards. The Ghostbusters collab released in Chapter 2 Season 4 for Fortnitemares. The collab itself is actually pretty decent, specifically everything but the skins. I guess they just couldn't get the license to use the likeness of any of the Ghostbusters because they did that thing where they give us default skins in Ghostbuster outfits, and most of them weren't even cool. There were like maybe 1 or 2 good ones, and the rest of them sucked. I usually judge these default skin collabs based on whether they got a Jonesy one, and yeah, do you see him? Didn't think so. Kelsier, I think I'm saying that right, is a character from Donald Mustard's favorite book, Mistborn. I don't know if it's still his favorite book, we haven't spoken in a while. The collab was simple, a skin, that's all. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that Kelsier was brought into the game in 2021, and do you know when he was last seen in the shop? 2021. Yep, Kelsier is...
Yeah, dude, what the hell? The first Mistborn book was made in 2006, and I think the most recent one... Oh, wait, hold on. So the original trilogy, like one from 2006, 2008, and then they re-released, or I guess the second era released between 2011 and 2022. So, like, whenever this book first came to be, the average Fortnite player was not alive. Like, the current average Fortnite player was not alive whenever that book first dropped, but okay.
One of those collabs we used to frequently get where they would just release in the shop a few times and then would never be seen again. You know, like Kratos or Aloy or Nathan Drake or Arcane or Venom or Cause or Cobra Kai or Dude or Resident Evil or Alan Wake or Assassin's Creed or Mike Lowry or Optimus Prime or Gears of War. The Mistborn collab was forgotten because it wasn't in a big enough series in the Fortnite space for anyone to initially recognize it, and then to follow up on that, they never brought it back, which in turn made the collab completely forgotten. Speaking of collabs that never came back, Gilded Guy, one of the more popular spoiler, Fortnite collabs in Chapter 2, Gilded Guy was one of the first indie characters to ever come to Fortnite. He was a skin that released in the item shop to promote the Fort Shorts event, which was held in Party Royale. They were so fun.
Oh, I was confused as to why I'd never heard about that. Okay, it's Party Royale.
So sad they stopped doing them. There was also a premiere for a new Gilded Guy short film during the Fort Shorts event, and it was a really great. Ask anybody about the Gilded Guy collab and they'll reminisce like I'm doing. But they never brought it back. It has been over 1,000 days since Gilded Guy has been seen in the item shop, and that makes me sad. Not because I don't own the skin, are you kidding me? Of course I bought it. But because that means that more people can't unlock the skin, and it means that this great collab and the physical representation of the Fort Shorts event is going to be forgotten. Fortnite Monopoly. It's Monopoly, but Fortnite.
Now this one doesn't make sense. Monopoly, this one just makes absolutely no sense. I don't quite get it, to be honest. There's really no, there's yeah, I mean, from what I remember about playing Monopoly, I haven't played it in a couple years. I don't see the correlation between how I can put Fortnite in Monopoly besides just its likeness.
I tried playing this with my family, but my mum hated it. That's all I remember from this, really. Oh, and there were like little back blings of Monopoly characters, and that was cool. Moving on. The Among Us collab was a weird one. The collab was birthed out of bad blood between Inner Sloth, the creators of Among Us, and the Epic Gamers. What? This collab was birthed out of bad blood between Inner Sloth, the creators of Epic Games, and What am I saying? The collab was birthed out of bad blood between Inner Sloth, the creators of Among Us, and Epic Games, the creators of Fortnite. Why am I explaining this to you? Fortnite released the Imposters game mode, which was obvious to everyone that it was just a rip-off of Among Us, and what's worse, it was a fun rip-off. Those are the ones you gotta look out for. Among Us devs were like, oh man, that's a shame. We reached out to Fortnite a while ago to collab and they ignored us, and now they did this. Oh, dang it.
I did not know that was a lot behind it. I always thought, like, you know, like Fortnite got like some type of permission, which is like, of course, you know, like a game mode like that, because it's just this is a Mafia. It's like, it's based off of another game, so it's not like Among Us trademarked the idea of a type of game like that. But I always just thought, like, since it was like the most popular one at the time, that, you know, Fortnite gave Inner Sloth like a heads up. I didn't know, like, they didn't know about that. I also didn't know that there was an Among Us collabs in the talks before even we got the Among Us collab. That's interesting.
And then the two of them did this weird PR thing where they pretended to go into each other's DMs. It was so weird. And then a few months later, we got the Imposters back bling and the Distraction Dance that you could get in the item shop, but you could get it cheaper buying it in Among Us. And then mysteriously, the Imposters game mode was removed from the game a few months later, and now mysteriously, the Among Us back bling and the dance was never once returned. They were in the item shop for a week in June of 2022 and was never seen again. If you ask me, I think the Imposters game mode was supposed to be permanent, but as part of the agreement between Inner Sloth and Epic Games, they removed it from the game silently while directing people to play Among Us. This is a weird collab. I don't like thinking about it.
Which is also, I guess, why. Do you think? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. No, Epic didn't. Wait, was this all the time whenever Fortnite, Epic Games gave out Among Us for free? Was that part of the deal too? Because I'm pretty sure they gave out Among Us for free for one of the weeks of like the free games, of like the free games Thursday. Is that also why? I never know. I never knew that.
Hasbro collab was one for me. I love this collab. They would release 6-inch figures of Fortnite characters. They had Midas, Rex, Jules, Menace, Lynx, Condor. It was so fun. They also had a sub-series called the 7 series. The first addition to this series was the Scientist. You could change his faceplates, and he even had a little button on him that you could light up his faceplates. Although, I wish they never added it because his faceplates kept falling off and I lost one of his faces, so now he's just an empty husk of who he once was. And they also released one for the Foundation. The Foundation one did always look a tiny bit off, especially compared to the Scientist, whose design-wise was perfect. But for whatever reason, not only did the 7 series stop after the Foundation was released, but the entire Fortnite Hasbro line was shut down. For what reason? I have no idea. What's worse is that Agent Jones was supposed to get a figure. I hate
Unlucky.
it. Doctor Who collab was a weird one. It was a fake collab, but also a real one, but also a third-party creative map, but also... From what I understand, the third-party creative map developer created a Doctor Who-themed map and worked with Fortnite to import a spray into the game, so players who did a thing in the creative map got a spray. I put a lot of research into this video. The Matrix collab was both kinda cool and lame. It was just emotes and a rap. No skins, no nothing. On one hand, the emotes and raps were great, but on the other hand, where are my skins, man? It also hasn't been back in like 9 million years, so that combined with the lack of skins made everyone kind of forget it happened. I don't know why they couldn't just use Keanu Reeves considering his likeness is already in the game, but hey.
Yeah, because what, he has like 2 John Wick skins. He's like the model, like what everyone, like what they modeled the Reaper after. And what else? He has like another skin. Well, didn't he? Well, I thought we got a Neo. Maybe we didn't get a Neo skin. I feel like we did get a Neo skin.
I won't get political now. Battle Breakers was a game made by Epic Games. It collabed with both Fortnite Battle Royale and Fortnite Save the World. Save the World got heroes and a weird quest line that won't go away no matter how many times I search an arcade. And BR got skins. The reason this was kind of forgotten wasn't because the skins don't return that much. In fact, they come back quite regularly. It was because Battle Breakers shut down some time ago, and the only remnants of the game can be found in Fortnite. So I guess they're Fortnite originals now. The same thing happened with one of the most triggering weapons in Fortnite history, the Infinity Blade. This was released during Chapter 1 Season 7 as part of the Ice King's arsenal, as Polar Peak thawed, the Infinity Blade was revealed. It was broken, ruined everyone's days, and was removed very quickly after it was...
Yeah, because also I remember, the one I remember about the Infinity Blade was the fact that they released it right before like a Winter Royale or like a Winter Skirmish or something like that. Like there was a competitive event that happened the day of or the day before that they released the Infinity Blade. And you were to look, if you were to look up clips, you'd see people be like, oh, like you'd see like every, the first person who got it won the game. Like you got like 500 HP you could build, you could do so much damage. It just, that was a stupid weapon. And like Fortnite has, now I'm on a rant, Fortnite has like a history of like making like things be broken, like adding broken weapons or broken items right before a competitive event, or making major map changes right before a competitive event. I know Kanata, I want to say Muzz also had his like drop spot messed up because Fortnite like got rid, I think Kanata for sure. Fortnite just straight up got rid of his drop spot the entire tournament and then brought it back after the tournament had ended. Muzz, I think it was whatever chapter it was that we had like superhero rankings, and he landed on that bridge and then Fortnite destroyed the bridge. I'm pretty sure Fortnite destroyed the bridge and that was his like landing spot. Like Fortnite has a known history of like adding dumb items or doing dumb things right before a competitive event. I truly am surprised they have not gotten sued for like interference or tampering or something. I think that's absolutely ridiculous that like pros will play or practice like without like on a certain thing or without a certain weapon, and then the day of they get rid of something, they add something that's broken, they like make a major game change, a major weapon change, just everything. It's just so dumb.
Released and never seen again, apart from in creative and the Involting event and Blitz. The Infinity Blade as an item was taken from an Epic Games game known by the same name. Unfortunately, the game was also shut down, and the remnants of the game can only be found in the Fortnite Infinity Blade item. What a legacy. Finally, the last forgotten Fortnite collab today is the Destiny 2 collab. And no, I don't mean the skins that come back to the shop every 3 months or so, or literally like 2 days ago. I mean the Destiny 2 Fortnite skins. Destiny 2 is one of the only times a Fortnite character has appeared outside of Fortnite, unless you count this fucking thing. There was a Drift skin, which actually looks pretty cool, a Black Knight skin, which for some reason has a very round head, and finally Oblivion, who is the female Omega skin in Fortnite. Despite this collab happening over 3 years ago, my sources tell me that these skins are still available in the game. I'll have to get into Destiny 2 at some point to take a look, but these skins were mainly forgotten because, well, we weren't used to Fortnite skins appearing in other games. Well, that's it from me.
Yeah, true. Dude, that's kind of crazy. I am, granted, I also don't think it's, some of the collabs I'm thinking about, I think they're more broken collabs than they are like forgotten collabs. Like of course Power Rangers, stupid collab, stupid, broken, terrible. Anything that you could transform in and take over the like, you know, world in, that was just an overall stupid collab. So I think that's what I'm getting in my mind whenever it comes to like dumb collabs, then rather instead of like more, it's more dumb collabs than it is like forgotten collabs. But yeah, we'll watch one more video, chat.